This time, I would like to talk about ReZero Season 3, the third episode of which was broadcast on the other day. It was dark in the first half, but emotional in the later parts. It depicts the first confrontation of Sin Archbishop of Greed, Regulus Conias, against Subaru. The third episode opens after Regulus appears and steals Emilia away in the second episode ending. I was particularly impressed by the unique personalities of each archbishops with the conflicts that occur between them. At the beginning of the episode, the person who saved Emilia from the threat of serious flames was surprisingly Regulus Conias, the archbishop of the witch cult of Greed. Regulus, who holds the unconscious Emilia in his arms, unilaterally claims her as his bride. Meanwhile, a shocking event occurs in front of Otto, who is on his way to the Muse company. A security guard was brutally murdered by someone. The culprit of this heinous act was Lai Kaitos, the archbishop of the great sin of the witch cult in charge of gluttony. The story unfolds in a more complex way, and Capella Emerada Luganica, the bishop of the great sin of the witch cult in charge of lust, appears in the control tower. With her arrival, the city of Prestella descends in even more chaos. In the midst of this crisis, Garfield has an unexpected reunion, and it was with his mother Rayla, whom he has not been able to see her for many years. Despite her mixed feelings, Garfield is determined to protect her mother's new family. That was the content of it. Speaking of the episode itself, one of the biggest highlights of this episode is the tension created by the simultaneous appearance of multiple archbishops of witch cult. Sirius's insane behavior and the way she claims to be Betelgeuse' wife makes a strong impression on viewers. On the other hand, Regulus' selfish claims and the way he unilaterally decides that Emilia is his bride are a clear expression of his greed. In addition, the brutality of Lai Kaitos, representing the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony, and the exuberant appearance of Capella Emerada Lugnica, representing the Sin Archbishop of Lust, also adds a new tension to the story. The presence of these bishops adds more depth and a sense of urgency to the story, raising expectations for their agendas and future actions. At the same time, viewers are curious to see how Subaru and his friends will defeat this powerful enemy without Emilia by their side. Speaking of emotional, the reunion scene between Garfield and his amnesiac mother Rayla was one of the most moving and memorable scenes in this episode. Garfield's inner portrayal in this scene is very meticulous, and the joy of finding her mother, the sadness of not being recognized by her mother who has lost her memory, and the complicated feeling of not wanting to destroy her new happiness resonates deeply in the viewer's heart. It's also important to have Mimi, who supports Garfield. Mimi's kindness and inclusiveness are a source of emotional support for Garfield as he suffers. Her witty actions as gorgeous Mimi and the way she comforts Garfield makes her even more attractive as a character. Themes of love is also explored in this episode, which strongly motivates the actions and thoughts of the characters. Garfield's complicated feelings for his mother indicate a purer and wholesome form of love. Garfield's decision to prioritize his mother's happiness, even at the expense of his own desires, expresses a true form of love. Mimi's feelings for Garfield and Beatrice's loyalty to Subaru are also important factors that give us a sense of depth and the bond between the characters. These diverse forms of love and adds depth and emotion to the story and have a profound impact on the actions and decisions of these characters. It's clear that the theme of love is one of the key axes in this story. In this episode, the main characters are in a very tough situation. Emilia is taken away by Regulus, the Archbishop of the great sin of greed. Subaru is injured and Beatrice is in a coma. Subaru's predicament adds tension to the story while also raising anticipation of how they will overcome this difficulty. In particular, how Subaru's return to death ability will work in this situation and what kind of development it will create is a point that has attracted the interest of many viewers. Also, there is no doubt that Amelia's rescue will be a major focus of the story to come. It will be interesting to see what Subaru and his friends will do to get Amelia back from Regulus' clutches and how they will grow along the way. In addition, it will be interesting to see what other camps are doing. How Krush and Anastasia camps will respond to this crisis situation and how they and Subaru will work together will also be key future developments. One question is needed to be answered is, where will Strike Volachia will be fit in this season 3? So this time, we've talked about the third episode of ReZero Season 3 which has aired recently. The whole episode was dark and emotional at the same time. The unique personalities and crazy actions of the archbishops brings out one of the charms of this work, the power of the enemy. It's also worth noting that the theme of love is depicted in various forms in this episode, which strongly motivates the actions and thoughts of the characters. What are your thoughts on this episode so far? Comment it down below. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.